Okay students, class is dismissed. Make sure to submit your assignment by Friday.
David, what's your plan for today?
I don't have any plan in particular.
I was thinking about going to the cafe. Would you like to join me?
I would be happy to do that.
Let's go then. This hot weather is killing me. I will have a glass of juice.
I would also have the same.
Got good news for you, David.
What's the news?
There will be a DJ party in the arena next Saturday. Lots of chips will be there too. And I've managed to get 2 tickets to the party. One for you, one for me.
Sorry, Steve, I will not be joining you.
What? Why not? Remember Melissa, the girl on whom you had a crush? She is coming too. I saw her buying tickets.
Doesn't matter to me. I don't care about her anymore.
Man, are you out of your mind? What has happened to you? You don't seem to be the same person since school started after summer. Did something happen to you this vacation?
Yeah. The best thing that can happen to a person had happened to me. I have found the answer to life.
What? What do you mean? Your words seem alien to me. Tell me what's your answer to life.
I have found Islam and accepted it. Praises to the one and true God Allah.
Are you out of your mind? You must be crazy.
Do I look crazy? I mean every word that I am saying.
Do you know these people believe in an ancient barbaric system of law where they chop the hands of thieves, kill people for having affairs, and whatnot?
Yes. I know all about it, and I don't think these laws are barbaric. Instead, I think they are very practical.
Can you please explain how is amputation of hands of thieves practical to you?
Once a land comes under the rule of Muslims, then that area will be ruled by the laws, as set out in our holy book, the Quran, and the traditions of our holy prophet, Muhammad. In the Quran in chapter 5, verse 38, Allah commands, cut off the hand of the thief, male or female, as a recompense for that which they committed, a punishment, by way of example from Allah. And Allah is all-powerful, all-wise.
So, don't you think this is a barbaric law, chopping hands off, just for stealing?
No, not at all, and there are reasons. This law doesn't apply indiscriminately to anybody who commits theft. The judges will look at the financial condition of the thief. If the thief's financial standing is poor, and if it is proved that he had stolen, out of extreme poverty, then he'll be spared. This is because it is incumbent upon the Muslim ruler to ensure that all the basic necessities of the people in the Islamic State are fulfilled, and somebody stealing out of poverty means that the Islamic State has been unable to fulfill that obligation. However, if financial condition of the thief is affluent, and if it is proved that he had stolen out of greed, then the punishment of amputation of hand will be enforced.
Come on, man, even after all that, you just can't cut off the hands of people like that. And what if somebody steals something very trivial? Say, maybe a pen or a watch. Something that is very cheap, just worth a few dollars.
If somebody had stolen out of greed, even if it is a pen, then this law will apply. This is done to curb theft completely, and to protect the properties of general public.
Man, this law is strict, damn.
Steve, the Islamic punishment for theft, even though it is so logical, is not palatable to you. But, do you know that in our country, in Texas, horse thieves are executed, and that too is done indiscriminately, regardless of the financial condition of the thief? How do you justify that law?
Oops. Forgot about that law in Texas completely. That law is completely illogical. I've no justification for that. Damn. What do I say now?
Steve? Why aren't you replying to my question?
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about something. About the law in Texas.
Yeah, I am waiting for your answer.
Well, yeah, I am against that law in Texas. I do not support that law.
Look, Steve, it doesn't matter whether you support the law in Texas or not. That law is recognized by our Constitution.
I gotta change the topic. I'm stuck. Okay, got your point about theft. Let's talk about affairs in Islam. Islam commands that adulterers should be stoned to death. So, how do you justify this?
Islam commands that any married man or woman, if commits the crime of adultery, then he or she should be stoned to death. Adultery is an immoral act. The person committing adultery is betraying his or her partner, and Allah, the one and true God, doesn't want that such evil shall plague our society. That is why people who commit such crimes are stoned to death, so as to make an example out of them. so that nobody dares to commit such crimes.
How can you kill somebody for adultery? It's just outrageous. You cannot punish people for morality crimes.
Say, if her father cheats on her mother, will you not get angry with him? Will you not want that he be punished in such a manner that it sets an example, so that in the future people will think twice before cheating on their spouse?
Well, if that happens, I will get angry, since adultery is an immoral act, but I don't think that he should be punished.
If my dad cheats on my mom, I would certainly want to see him punished, because otherwise it will be unjust to my mom. And you said that you don't think adultery is a punishable crime, do you know? That there was a time when people in our country were executed for adultery, and even today in 23 states adultery is still a crime?
Yes, I know that people were once executed for adultery, but that was 300 to 400 years back. Today we Americans have advanced and become more civilized, and realize that the citizens must be granted more freedom and rights. That is why many states in our country has decriminalized adultery, and about the 23 states where adultery is still a crime, it is a matter of time before these laws will be repealed, and the human rights organizations are working on it.
So, according to you, over time a criminal act, which is punishable, can be decriminalized. Because adultery had once been a crime in America, but now it no longer is.
Of course, it can happen. If the existing past laws goes against human rights, then those laws can be repealed. This has happened often. Look at the precedent of the sodomy laws. Sodomy in America was a serious crime punishable by execution, but today all the states have repealed those laws that criminalize it.
So, according to you, is it possible that what is considered a crime today, in our courts, can be decriminalized a few years down the line?
Of course, that's what I've said. It is possible.
So, if we consider child pornography today in our courts, it is a crime. So according to you, maybe a few years down the line, it can be decriminalized?
No, what makes you think that? Why would child pornography be decriminalized?
Cause, if for example we consider sodomy, it was a crime and an evil act, once upon a time in our country, then the homosexuals started a movement for their rights, and it has been legalized. So similarly, child pornography can also be legalized.
Men. He has raised a valid question. If the laws of sodomy and adultery could be repealed, then the laws criminalizing child pornography can be repealed as well. It is not impossible. I'd never thought about it that way. But I cannot confess it to him. No, I don't see that happening. I don't think it will ever happen.
How can you deny it? So surely, look at the precedents of adultery laws, or sodomy laws. These have been repealed, so the same can happen with child pornography laws. You can't deny it so blatantly. Be honest.
Well, okay, you got me there. I accept it. It's not impossible. I can't deny it can happen. But, I must say, the chances are low.
Look at us today, Steve. Our laws have developed and changed in such a way that we are not sure even something as evil as child pornography will remain a crime within a few years' time. We are skeptical that even these laws might be repealed. Today our society has lost its morality, but in Islam, Allah, the one and true God, has given us a law which will ensure that the morality of the people is never lost.
I can see your point. Truly we Americans have lost our morality today. But I'm not convinced about the religion of Islam, cause I know that's got other problems, for which there's no justification.
Please, ask me what else seems troubling to you about Islam?
Not today. I've to leave now. Gotta do my laundry. Maybe some other day in school.
Okay, let's leave then.
Okay, let's go.